Some of the content covered may be graphic in nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
November 22nd, 1987. The broadcast signals from 2 Chicago television stations are hijacked by an unknown intruder wearing a mask of the then popular TV character Max Headroom. The culprits were never caught, and to this day, their motive and identity remain a mystery.
All right, so welcome back to Type 3 TV. On this week's episode, Dan's got a riveting story for you. Dan.
Yeah, John, thanks. So this is one of our more, little more of a light-hearted story than the fucked up crazy shit and weird shit that we normally do.
Watch your language.
So, yeah, and please talk a little closer to the microphone.
So yes, so thank you. Oh. So, but anyway, yeah, this is called the Max Headroom basically broadcast signal intrusion. Have either one of you
I love this story, yeah.
Oh, you know the story.
Oh, yeah.
You know anything about it?
It sounds familiar. I don't remember the specifics, though.
Okay, well, there was a character in the 80s named Max Headroom. It was like you remember anything about that?
Yeah.
Okay. So...
when I nod, it means yeah.
Anyway, so,
go ahead.
Listen, I'm with you on this. He's still a 90s kid at heart.
Right, because he wasn't even born, Max. Well, you were just an infant.
He likes a fucking year older than me.
Yeah, but he likes 80s hair metal, so we'll give him that.
Yeah, that's true.
Where's your loudness shirt?
It's getting too small.
Oh.
It's like a gym shirt now.
All right.
It's got holes in it.
Well, it has sleeves cut off, so
that's
yeah.
True.
Anyway.
All right, so basically here's what it is. The first interruption actually took place during a sportscast on the 9 p.m. news on the channel WGN-TV Channel 9. During the highlights of a Bears-Lions game, the screen went black for about 15 seconds, only to return with a man wearing the Max Headroom mask and sunglasses. There was no audio other than a buzzing and oscillating sound. The person moved around in the same manner as the character Max Headroom did, but said nothing. The hijack came to an end when the WGN engineers switched their frequency to the John Hancock Center's transmitter. The entire hijack lasted about 25 seconds, and when back on the air, sportscaster Dan Rowan stated, "Well, if you're wondering what's happened, so am I." That was a quote from him. Joking that the computer running the news, quote, took off and went wild, unquote. He then went on to calmly finish the sports report for that night. Now, the second TV hijack took place the same night at 11:15 p.m. during a Doctor Who episode, but this time at a PBS affiliate, WTTW Channel 11. During this hack, which lasted about 90 seconds, the individual not only was on film again, but this time talking and showing even more bizarre behavior, and this time with an accomplice.
I know exactly what he had with him.
Yep. He started off by saying, quote, "That does it. He's a frickin' nerd," unquote. He went on to say some other things while laughing, screaming, and moaning, acting very bizarre. He used the new Coca-Cola. Remember the new Coke? New Cola back in that?
What year are we talking?
87. You weren't even.
Yeah,
you weren't
I
even
fucking remember that.
Yet. You weren't even born yet. So the new Coca-Cola catchphrase was "Catch the wave."
Yeah, but you've heard of the story about.
Yeah, but I don't remember like half the shit he's talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. While holding a Pepsi can, so that was kind of weird. He also started to sing towards the end of the broadcast. He let the other person on film who told him to bend over, bitch. He was wearing the other gentleman was wearing we assume it was a gentleman, a French-made costume. Okay, and he started to spank the other gentleman's partially exposed ass with a fly swatter while saying, "Oh, do it." After the transmission went black, and it basically resumed to the Doctor Who program.
That already sounds like a better show than Doctor Who.
Yeah. Especially in the 80s.
WTTW found that its engineers could not stop the hijack because there were no personnel or engineers monitoring the transmitter,
right,
which stood atop the Sears Tower for that one. Once they were aware of that the hijack started, they proceeded to investigate, but it was already over by that point. Authorities from the FCC, FBI, and local police all investigated the station hijacks, but were unable to ever find who or why it was done.
Yeah. No, I think it's got to be somebody that had access to the tower or like new broadcast. You know, I mean,
I want to say that I think this is amazing because of the fact. Okay, it was 1987. It wasn't that long ago. Technology was not where it is now, but how the hell they got away with doing that?
well, no,
and no one even found them.
Have you ever heard the other famous case of this too? It's Captain Midnight. So, anyways, HBO was talking about raising their prices, and a guy basically in the middle of like a broadcast on HBO hijacked the signal and said, "You raise the prices, and I'm going to cut into your broadcast every night," and threw up like the color test bars with some text that just said like from Captain Midnight. They ended up finding that guy because he was part of I think he worked for the company that helped distribute the satellite signal.
Right.
And so he understood that. But yeah, I mean, back then, like, you had to know somebody, or you had to know how to deal with RF frequencies and how to like get into that feed. I'm actually listening to an audiobook right now called Ghost in the Wire. It's about one of the most famous like hackers of all time. And like, have you ever heard of phone phreaking? It was basically back in like the late 80s, early 90s, where people would send signals through the telephones, and they were able to basically hack the phone companies and do long distance calling for free by generating tones through the phone. So, but yeah, like I said, technology, it's a lot. It was easier then, but it also, you still had to be smart to do it.
Right, absolutely. I mean, here's the question. They're not getting away with this today, nowadays.
No,
right?
I mean, people still hack shit nowadays, though.
But I mean, we're dealing with more digital than analog back then. Everything was analog.
No, I mean, yeah, absolutely. But I mean, there's people that interrupt. Doesn't Anonymous do that shit where they like interrupt certain feeds? I don't know. I don't really pay attention to any of that.
Somebody
fucking
also
garbage.
recently just hacked something in Montana where they said the zombies were rising.
Yeah, well, yeah, like when they hack, when they hack like what are they, ticker bars or whatever at the bottom of like the news headlines.
So they've done that. I know. I've also just seen people where they were hacking like the signs on the road that say like "buckle up" or how many deaths have happened this year.
I think I've heard of
I
that.
saw somebody hack one that said like "dicks out for Harambe." Like, so I mean, but it still happens. But again, yeah, you got to be really smart to get that shit done.
I mean, this person didn't just do it to one station; they did it to two stations. Obviously, they were in the Chicago area. They had to be in the Chicago area.
Yeah.
But I mean, when the FCC gets involved and they obviously investigated it, they couldn't even find who did this.
Sure.
And where it originated from.
Well, I mean, everything is done through triangulation. So, I mean, if it cuts out too fast and they can't, again, you're looking at when you triangulate a signal, you're using 3 points of reference, and so they're able to find something pretty quickly. But the signal has to be present long enough for them to hone in on, and
Which,
so
25 seconds certainly was not enough time.
And so they probably didn't work with any of those companies, but they probably knew how to do it, or they knew someone. Like that Captain Midnight guy, he was an insider to that, and so that's how he got busted. But yeah, if the signal wasn't present long enough, you're not going to be able to track that.
The other one was 90 seconds, but it's just I love the story because it's comical, and they did some other stuff. I didn't go into everything. I mean, they said a couple other weird shit on there too, but I didn't go over everything. But it was just an interesting story. If you ever get time, watch it.
Is there a video of it?
Yeah, there is a video of it.
Okay.
Because
let's check that
on
out.
the news, obviously the news channel, they had that. But the people that were recording, like Doctor Who fans that were recording,
They have it, yeah.
They have it where they were recording that show for that night.
Yeah, and it's so like it was done in such like a guerrilla style. Like Max Headroom always had those animated backgrounds, but he was a computer generated like person.
He was an actor though.
Yeah,
that played him.
And so like somebody wore the Max Headroom mask, but then they had like that metal that is kind of stamped. The stuff you see in Chipotle on the walls, like that, like
the corrugated steel.
Corrugated steel, yeah. Like they had that on something behind them, like spinning, so it kind of looked like an episode of Max Headroom. So they did take some time to prep for it, but yeah, again, just I love stories like this because it's someone just was a little bit smarter for a very brief amount of time,
and they got away with it.
Those are the people that you shouldn't fuck with,
right? And I always get the people that. The unsolved things are what I always love. We don't, to this day, they have no idea who did that or why they did it or anything. So it's just an interesting story. I thought it was comical, and, I don't remember when it happened, but I looked it up and seen it online. There's a lot of stories on it, so you can see it online.
I just want to watch 90 seconds of ass spanking.
It's funny. I mean, yeah, like I said, it was probably a better episode than what was going on with Doctor Who for that.
For that 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, that's it for this week's episode. If you like what you saw, if you know who the Max Headroom hacker is, which I'm sure you'll never tell, but leave us a comment. If we said something wrong, let us know.
Show us your ass.
Yeah, and
Spank it.
And get spanked by a French maid while
with
you're at
fly
it.
swatter.
All right. Dan, get out the fly swatter. Buddha,
All right.
time to
Get out the ass.
let's
Bend
commence.
over, bitch.
Let's commence. All right. For Steve Gibson, Dan Rady, I'm John Bazinski for Type 3 TV. Over and out.
Okay, so have either of you guys heard of the Max Headroom Incident?
Hold on one second. Let's start over again. You want me to do the intro?
Go ahead. Yeah.
I do the intro every
Just
episode.
let him do the fucking intro, okay?
All right. Got it.
Go ahead.